What's good, guys? So in this video, I'm just gonna be making a generic like simulator or tycoon UI. So I'm having to do that for a project real quick just so I can get to testing and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna record that process and so you guys can see how I do that. So, um, we have the holder right here. So first of all, we have the screen GUI and we have a holder. Okay. Now this video is not going to be any programming whatsoever. All right, but I like to do my holders first, and this is just something that's going to contain everything. Um, yeah, it's just going to hold everything basically. So it's like the main frame, but you're not going to see it. So we are going to set the background transparency to 0, but first I'm going to scale it up. And I like to use scale. I don't like to use offset. Sometimes I actually do use offset, but I don't use it that much, and I always have to like go back to it and kind of like make adjustments, and I have to like kind of figure out, okay, like how does this actually make it look on all devices. So I think it is good to use offset a little bit, but you have to understand how to use it, and I always have to like go back to it and understand how to use it again every time I use it. So when I start, I just don't start with it. I just do it like after I'm done with the like initial UI. I think I'm gonna do so yeah, first things first though, I do anchor points for the holder. I do anchor points on point 0.5, point 0.5, and then position varies, but I always do point 0.5 on the X. The Y, sometimes I like to do point 0.4. Sometimes I don't think it looks good being directly in the middle, and I think it should be a little bit up. So maybe I'll do like sometimes I'll even do like 0.45, something like that. It just really depends on the UI I'm making though. But for the holder, actually, because I might be thinking of the actual like frames that we're gonna be coloring and stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, let's just do 0.5, point 0.5 for now, and then I'll do. And so now I just did point 0.8 on the size scale, just to see like how big it's gonna be. But again, I'm also gonna go here, and I like to use either relative for the size constraint, relative XX or relative YY. Now it depends on what you're doing, but lately for Roblox specifically, I find relative XX to be just a little bit better. Just yeah, and then we'll just take this down a bit because it's like super gigantic. So we'll just take that down a bit. 3, 2, 5. All right, so I think that's fine for our. Let's see if we can get a device going here. So yeah, that I think this is fine for. It's looking crazy big on the. So let's actually change it to YY and see what happens. Yeah, so maybe it's YY I'm thinking of. Let's try to change it up a little bit. I'll do 1. And then see, here's where offset, you can come in and do like offset. So maybe like 15 or 35. Let's try 35 and then see how that looks. I like that. I like that on that. So this is just my process of how I'm like trying to see how it's gonna look on multiple devices, right? Um, so I like that so far. Now for the Y, I'm gonna make more. Let's see how that looks on mobile. It's a little bit big. I think that should be good. Maybe 5 for the offset. Yeah, I think this looks fine for now. I think it looks good for now. And so what I'll do is I'll just make this background transparency 1. So this is only where our UI is going to go in, okay? So now I'm going to put frame. I was thinking I was naming it already. So I'm going to put this as background frame or I like to call back, but I'll do background. So yeah, so it makes sense. Now I'm gonna do 0.5 for the anchor point, and then just for now, 0.5 for the scale. And so now if I were to do 1 and 1 on the scale, what it's going to do is it's going to be 100% the size of our holder, okay? And we don't want that because we want to fit everything else in here. So, and this is our background. So we want a text label up here maybe, and we want a close button. So we do not want it to be like the full size. So for now, I'll just do or yeah, 0.9 on that. So now we can see, okay, so we have room to fit a close button now. We have room for a text label up here and stuff like that, okay? So that is looking good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add the close button. And first thing first, the close button's actually gonna be inside of a frame because I'm gonna design it. Okay, so I'll show you what that's gonna look like in a second. And these can be like sizing up. These are gonna be a little bit. I'll show you in a second because these can kind of change the way you do these. So I just have 0.1 just for now, just to you know 0.85. I'm trying to get like a good square going here. 0.95, 0.8. Okay, so 1, 2. All right, so this is fine. I think this is looking okay. I don't want it to be so big though. So I do actually want to keep it smaller. I don't think it needs to be super big. Okay, that's fine for now. And then another thing real quick. So these are going to be anything that's in front is going to be you're going to change this index. So this is just how I like to do it. So holder, you don't have to worry about it's because it's invisible. Background is always going to be 1. This button holder. So close button holder. Or close button background, actually. I can just do that. Close button background. So yeah, let's actually change this to a nice red. There we go. That's a good little red. And so now it's time to position it. Now this, I'm not the best at this. I don't know if I use the best practices or whatever, but as you see, all I did was do 0.9 and it, made it right there. So it's just I just do a bunch of testing and then I make sure it's going to still be there. I make sure it's still going to be there on mobile. And so what I don't like though is, um, I don't like that it's just not a good square right now. I want it to be like kind of an upside of a rectangle-ish. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to adjust the Y slightly. Yeah, I'm gonna adjust the Y slightly. All right, so now it's a little bit better, but I'm going to now adjust the X a little bit. There we go. I think that's more of what I'm looking for right now, and I'll show you why, because I'm going to create a little design with this. So where was I? Now let's see. Device. Okay, looks good that way. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add in a UI corner and a UI stroke, or not scale, UI stroke. And so now, as you can see, I have a little design going on. So I don't like to use offset for this stroke, just cause that's just me. So there we go. Now we have a little kind of UI thing going on here. I'm gonna up that to 3 maybe, give it that little, thickness that you see in a lot of simulators and stuff. Maybe 2. I'll do 2. I think 2 looks fine. All right, and then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in the actual button. And so what this is gonna be is it's going to be a text button. And I added, as you can see, I added it as a child of the close button background. And so now what's gonna happen is I'm going to go down to scale. We'll just scale it real quick. Now, I don't think we need to change the position at all. And here's what's going to happen. We're just going to put 1 for the X. We want it to be the full frame of the X. We're going to do 0.9 maybe of the Y. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy this UI corner and we're going to paste it in. So now we have a UI corner for this. And we are going to then change the color. So I'm going to copy this color code and I'm going to paste it. And now I'm going to go back to our closed background and I'm just going to darken the closed background. So now you see we have a nice looking, let's see how it's on mobile. We have a nice looking button. So we're just going to change the text to an X. And I'm going to make this text color white. And then I'm going to add in a UI stroke. And it's already attached to the text. So that's good. That's what we wanted. And then I can go in and change the font. I'm just going to use that one, and we're going to enable text scaled. So there is our button. Now look at it. It's like the text is not completely centered. And so this, I don't just sit around playing with UI all day. So it, like, I just would play around with some of this stuff. UI text size constraint. Let's see if this will work. Hold on a second. So that is just making it so that it can't reach a certain size. Hold on. That's just making it so it can't like go into certain sizes. So you see it's not completely centered. And the issue with this, I can't remember. I know I resolved it at a time, but I can't remember what the exact issue is or what solved it. UI size constraint. I don't think that's it either. But yeah, it just when you scale it, it doesn't actually go to this. It doesn't really like center itself. So, I think maybe what we can do is disable the text scaled. See, now it's like it looks kind of centered. And then so let's go back to our UI and then see that didn't even help. So I can't remember. I might not even like try to resolve this. It would maybe take too long. But I cannot remember. I would really have to go back and look at it on how I fixed this. See, all this is centered, so maybe if we change this, but I doubt it. Oh, that did actually resolve it. Now it's centered. Okay. So I guess just change it to relative XX, or if we did relative YY, and then that looks kind of funky. So we're already using relative XX, and I think that's why it looks funky. So just change it to a relative XX, and then now it will be centered and look good. Let's check it on mobile real quick. Oh God, it looks actually not that good on mobile. I wonder why. Um, Weird. All right. Well, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, but let's see real quick if I can think of something here. I'll just do this. Oh, well, that's not gonna work because we want the whole frame. Maybe if we make this actually, hold on a second. If we make this also XX, okay. And then now I'm just checking to see if it's gonna go out. It's still going out, as you can see. It's still going out, so um, and I don't think it has to do with our UI corner at all. Um, yeah, there's a fix for it. I just can't remember what it was. It took me a little bit to figure out. So yeah, if I find the fix later on, I will uh, put it down in the comments. But I'm not gonna I don't want to sit here and research it and kind of try to find it. But this is a text button, a quick text button. And as you can see, that was our only problem. And then also we do have it to where I don't even know if I remember this either, where it's highlighted. I think it is a property where it like highlights. Like it flashes on highlights. I thought it was a property actually in the. It's not that. I was just looking at it. Let me see what that does real quick. I just want to look. Okay, so it is our frames. Our frame is the issue right now. Um, what was I doing? Shit. Okay. It might be. So yeah, I think it's what it is it's a property in code. You'll just you'll say on hover don't change the color or whatever or something like that. I can't remember, dude. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it though. But those two things, right? So making it to where it looks good on mobile still, and it's not bad, but you can clearly see that something isn't right here. Let me try to adjust the radius. I think that might be it. It might be our issue. Is it? I can barely see, so there we go. Physical size. Okay. I mean, it still looks good, so whatever. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, that's the one issue, and then there's the making it not turn red when you hover, which I swore was a property that you could just check, but I know it's something that you can do in code because I've done it before. But yeah. So that's our text button. Looks all right. It's not too bad. Now let's move on to the background frame real quick. I mean, this is going to be pretty simple. I think we're just going to use our uh, strokes and yeah. Oh, wait. What am I doing? Okay. And there we go. So now we can just adjust this accordingly. I think that looks fine. If we want to do that, we can. Let's see if it looks all right. I mean, I like the two. I don't know. I just like it being two. I don't like it being too crazy big, the stroke. So yeah, I think that looks decent. And now we can even add in like a little UI gradient in the background. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, that's how you change the color. I haven't touched UI in quite a minute. So as you see here, it's like changing the gradient. I'm gonna go for blue, like a turquoise almost. And then the rotation, I'm gonna change it to -90. And then offset, I'm gonna do okay, so 0.5. And then I'll do 0.5 for that. Oh, transparency. Well, that actually looks kind of cool, but I might actually keep that actually. Hold on. Maybe like 0.3. That actually looks really cool. I actually like that a lot. Huh. Anyway, so I wanted to bring this up on the bring it up a little bit more or stretch the yeah, so we're gonna have to go into here. Oh, here we go. So this is how I'm gonna do this. Just to kind of fade it out a little bit. So what I just did there was I just added two more like color lines for it just to fade it out a little bit so it's not so sharp when the color changes from this color to that color. So that's what I did there. And you access that through the color sequence. Let's see how it looks on mobile. All right. Now it is gonna what I've noticed it is gonna change a little bit like on phones, the type of phone it is, you know, like um so it is gonna change a little bit, so you might want to do a little bit more testing with that, but it's kind of like whatever at that point. At a certain point, it's like whatever. Do you really want to spend that much time on it? Um, but yeah, so that is our like main background. And I think that's all we're gonna do for now. Now, see, what I'm gonna do is because there's a couple ways we can do this, right? There's so much we can do. Um, different ways we can customize this, but what I'm gonna probably have it as is just a linear shop, right? So we're gonna have game passes or dev products, you know. So we're not gonna have tabs or anything. It's just gonna be a one shop button where we can just access a shop and go through all the crazy stuff that we can go through, right? And there's also more ways we can do that. Like if we want to scroll like this way, or if we just want it to be all linear and just keep going down, down, down. There's so much that you can do, but the first part is one thing I see that's very popular is having like a special or like a main part of the like a special product for the shop that you can get that's like crazy like a crazy offer or something random like that. So we'll do that. And this will be the background, but I'm just not gonna name it background for now. Um, what was I doing? All right, so now we're gonna do anchor point. I'm not gonna do point 0.5. Oh wait, no, actually what we have to do first is Okay, let's do this. We have to create a products holder. We have to create a holder first, okay? Now let's do 0.5, 0.5, and 0.5, 0.5. And then for this, we're gonna do like 0.9 just for now. All right, so now we have this. Our close button, we're probably gonna do like, I don't know, let's just do 10 because it's gonna always be on top, right? Now let's go back here. We're gonna copy the corner, the gradient. We're gonna copy all this and paste it into the product holder. Well, we could. We're not gonna do that actually. I'm tripping. I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking we were doing the special product page. This is gonna be invisible, okay? That's what this is going to be. What's going to be in here is a UI list layout. And field direction is vertical. That's what we want. I think that's what we want for now. This is going to be a UI list layout, okay? Now, what we're going to add in here is the first off, we're going to make it so we don't get too much confusion. We're going to make that background transparency 1. Now this is going to be our special product background. And we're going to then copy and paste all of that in here. And we're going to then now scale it. So I'm only going to change the anchor point, or am I? No, I'm not. Okay, so this is going to be right like this. Okay, this is how I was doing it. So what I'm going to do is also we do want this to be a scrolling frame. So yeah, we do want this to be a scrolling frame, not a so we're gonna have to actually add in a scrolling frame first, okay? And we're gonna have the same properties as this holder, okay? Same properties as the holder. Now, yeah, so you want a holder frame for your products. Then inside of that holder frame, you want a scrolling frame, okay? And then you want to put a UI list layout in the scrolling frame. That's how that works, all right? So yeah, I believe that's what's going to happen. Now we need to get this to be the same size as our holder frame. Okay, so now this is the same size. Oh shit, what did I just do? All right, so now we have a UI list layout, and this is actually, we don't want this to be we want it to be just a little bit like, oh, what did I just do? I'm thinking I'm changing the size. We don't want it to be the what? Yeah, 0.5, I guess, and then 0.5, and then a lot of, oh, you're gonna be doing 0.5 on a lot of this stuff. So yeah, that is one thing to note. And then that, okay, that is what we're gonna do. All right. And now we're gonna want a holder frame for this. So what we're gonna do with this scrolling frame is we're gonna put background transparency to 1. This is our special product background. As you can see, it's like messed up, right? It just doesn't, why does it keep wanting to grab that? As you can see, it's just like looks messed up. It's cut off, and that's because um, if you see our UI list layout, let's see if the padding, I don't think that, yeah, padding's not gonna matter for that. Let's see real quick. All right, so what do we need to do here? I don't want to change that. Let me just look on C just to see what it looks like to see if we're consistent. We are. All right, let's assume there. All right, so I'm just gonna make another frame, and I'm going to have this frame be the full size. Wait, oh shit. All right, I'm just doing this for now. Okay, I'm just changing the size. Now this is going to be our special product holder. Okay. Now we're gonna put this in there. And where is it? All right, where did we mess up at? There's our scrolling frame. Here's our UI list layout. Here's our special product. Oh, that's where we messed up at. All right, special product holder is at 1. Okay, now we're gonna change this, okay, to that, and we're gonna do that, or we could just do 0.975. Let's try that, or just 0.9 for now. 0.9 for now. All right, and now we got to go back here and we got to do this for the anchor point, okay, and also the position, so we can center it. This is just how you center a thing. So now you can see right here, right? We have this looking right here. Now it's a little bit small, so you can change it like so. What I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna turn off the scroll bar by changing the scroll bar transparency. Okay, so we can get rid of this. We can just do background transparency for the special product holder. We can just set that to 1. So anything that's a holder is going to be always background transparency. I set it to 1. A background is going to be the actual style. Okay, that's just how I like to name my stuff and organize my stuff. So for this, we can actually change the Y for this, and it will make our thing right here, you know, bigger. So we'll do that, and there you go. So now we have that, and we don't have a text label though. So keep in mind, we don't have a text label for this. And it looks like we don't have a lot of space for a text label. So what we're gonna want to do is probably give it some more room or more space, and we're going to then take this down so we have that room. Now we have a little bit extra room to kind of squeeze in a text label and title in here. And we can also make it just a little bit wider. Okay, so now we have this. I'm gonna just change the color of the gradient. And then I'm going to change that. And then I'm gonna I'm trying to make it so. Oh, I know. I have to change. I do have to change the offset. I'm just trying to get it to look halfway decent, basically. Because right now it kind of looks bad. Um, there we go. I mean, it's like whatever, dude. It's like whatever, you know. That kind of looks cool. All right, whatever. You know, so just play around with it, style it however you wish to style it. So yeah. So this is our one shop item. I actually really don't know if I like the stripe there, but whatever, dude. Let's see how it looks on mobile. Still is looking good. Still is looking good. All right. So, um, what was I gonna do now? All right. Now it's at a text label. So we're gonna add a text label in this bit right here. And we're going to make the background transparency 0. And we're going to do text scaled. And I'm gonna make the text color white. And we're gonna go with our font that we did earlier. I'm going to add in a UI stroke. And let's see. So I'm just gonna do that. And then I'm gonna do that. And then we have this right here. I'm going to make it longer. And there you go. And that's our text label for that. And then if you wanted to, if we wanted a little picture by it, because that is a thing too. If you wanted a little picture by it, there's a couple ways you could do it. You could just have one solid frame, which is what I like to do. So we'll do a frame, and then we'll have a holder, info holder. I'll just do special product info holder. So it's all related, and it's all easy to find if I ever need to find it. We're gonna put that there. Oh, is it? Yeah, okay, it is. I'm just tripping. And then we're just gonna copy our size for it. And then we're gonna put this in here, and we'll do like what, 0.8 maybe, or 0.75, and then we'll do 1 on the Y, and this is obviously going to be 1 on the background transparency. And now we have room to fit a little picture in here. So if we wanted some type of picture in here, we would just, you know, add in a image label. I'm just going to copy this into here. And then what I would do is do like 0.25. And then we would move the position, how much our size is for the text label. So we would move it over 0.75 because our text label is 0.75. And then what I like to do for my image labels is go to scale type and do fit, I think it is. Yeah, I like to do fit. Just because it keeps it simple. Let's get rid of that background transparency on our image label. And there you go. We have a, and then this cuts it off because strokes just get cut off. So that's why what I do is I have to like compensate for the stroke. So what I will do for this, for the text label, is I'll just size her down like, I don't know, to 7, right? And then I'll go to position and then just do 0.05 or something like that, okay? And then now you can see our stroke isn't being cut off at all by the holder frame, okay? Because we have clipping descendants turned on. So, well, actually we don't, but it clips it anyway. Yeah, I don't know. But that's just what I do to fix that problem. Uh so yeah, and then that's our special offer. Then we would just have like say a big image in the background with a buy button. So however you want to do that, you would just go into your special product background, and that's where you would put in your like your image label, I guess. Like say we have a big image label we want over here, and then you would just scale it like so. Wait, where's our, oh, this one. Okay, yeah, I was like tripping. um so then let's say we wanted it to be like, big. Now this one I would, depending on the image, I wouldn't make it fit. I would just like stretch it out or use slice. I'd probably use slice, and then I would, for this special background, go into clip descendants. I would turn that on, and then when I use slice then for this, so I would go down to scale type. I would use like either slice or stretch, or depends on the image. It really, really kind of depends, I feel like. You just kind of have to play around with it. But yeah, let's see. I would go to one on that. Or what we could do is to keep our background frame, we could put this image inside of its own frame. So we would just have image holder, and then we would clip descendants on that, okay? Then we would clip descendants on that. And what we would do with this image holder is we would do anchor point on the Y5, anchor position on the Y5, and then we would just scale it like however we wanted. So let's say 1, we want it to, it's the holder, so we don't want it to be 1, we don't want it to be the full length. Scale it however much we want it on this. I'll do like 0.6. And then see, now we have that. And then I think what we can do is do background transparency 1, and then we'll even add in a UI corner to kind of make it still go in with our style. And then do we have clip descendants turned on yet? No, we don't. So now if you look, you'll see it should be cutting off our image. Hold on a second. Image. What's our image looking like? It should be cutting off our image, but it's not. Maybe I'm tripping, and we'd have to add in the UI corner on the actual image label. That could be it. But yeah, I don't know. So just scratch that. Maybe I'm tripping. Image holder. So we'll just have our image then. So there's our image, and we'll just do that for the 0.5 on the Y, 0.5 on the position, and then we'll just have it like not be the, and then we'll move it on the X a little bit to give it that little space that we want, and then we'll have a UI corner inside of that. There we go. And it looks weird here because of it's using slice. So again, you'd have to play around with it. I don't have I'm not like using an image to work with. So what we can do for now is just use stretch, and then you can kind of see what it's looking like here. But that is a little bit too wide for me, so I'm going to size her down on the X, and then we can have like the text label here. So what I'll do for this is I'll actually add in a holder, text and button holder, and it's just going back and just adjusting all these properties. That's really what we're doing, like most of the time, is we're adjusting these properties. So yeah, let's see real quick. I'm tripping. I'm losing train of thought, and I'm tripping. All right. So we want this holder to be about the same, maybe the same size as our image to keep it consistent. Our image is really too big though. I'm gonna size that down quite a bit. So yeah, where's our text? Oh, and it was a text label, not a frame. Okay, so I gotta do a frame now. Text and button holder. So we can just add this in here, and we'll just do special offer text. And then we'll just we'll copy our, because if we want to use the same style of our close button, we can just copy our close button. I'm going to name this close button. And so we'll copy this, and we will paste it in our text and button holder. And then what we can do is we can just rename it special offer, or we'll do special offer by, these are getting pretty long, but it's like whatever. Special offer by button background, because we're not going to even use that, so it's just for naming purposes. Special offer by button. Okay, so yeah. And then what we can do is now we can just size this like so. Wait. Okay. Okay, so we'll have like 0.45 or something for that, and then we'll do for this like 0.9 or something. And then again, we're gonna go in and just do our anchor point to center it on the Y. We don't need to do that for the X because all we need to do for the X is just move it over like that. Um, and then now it's just a matter of, okay, let's see our, and for this, actually, we could insert a UI list layout. Um, and then our buy button is going to be Zindex 2 or layout order 2. Layout order 2, and then we'll just make sure that our UI list layout is using layout order, which it's not, it is sort order is layout order. All right, and then so there's our button and there's our text label. Now, obviously these are like not looking good at all. Oh, I put it in the wrong one, the list layout, by the way. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make sure. So this is doesn't even have a size. So do 1 on the X, and then do, you know, like 0.4 on the Y. And then we can even create a buffer in between these. So the the layout order for this is going to be 1. We can create a little blank space in between these, and we'll just call it a padding, or you can call it like buffer or whatever. And then so this layout order is going to be 2, and then our button is going to be 3. Um, I don't know why it's like all the way over there. Oh, 'cause I'm actually like messing up right now. Holy crap. This padding needs to be in there. So now these are all children of our holder. Okay. Wait a second. Layout order for the button is 3. Um, padding, we're just gonna make on the Y like 0.1, okay? Because all it is just gonna be blank space, and then we can just do, you know, we can do whatever on the X. So all it is blank space, okay? Now, special buy button background, we're gonna have this be 1 on the X, and then like 0.4 on the Y or so. And what I'm probably gonna do, because it's relative XX, I'll just do relative XY to get it back to that part. So we just we just turned off the relative. We just made it default. Basically, we don't want it to be XX anymore, right? Because now it's in our UI list layout. So yeah, and then what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to actually make this 0.9, and then I'm going to get our text label. I'm gonna do background transparency for this. And then I would use, it's something called Unicode, and that's just how you can get like a kind of like a emoji looking thing in the text. So I would just copy that from Google or whatever and paste it in here. But let's just say we want this to be 500 Robux. And then I'm going to change the font, the color, text scaled, And then I'm gonna add in the UI stroke. Yeah, and then I'll even like probably like maybe even add in a gradient or something on this text just to give it kind of something that's unique, I guess. So what I would do is I will just like that. You know, just like whatever, you know what I mean? Just come up with something. Like you can just play around with it and style it however you want. And then we need to make our holder frame transparency 1, our padding transparency 1. So now we have that little bit of space here. And then we can go to our UI list layout and make it horizontal alignment center. And so now we have our button centered. And I was gonna say that we could just add in another frame, and then we can just, you know, go in and change our anchor point again for the button, put that button inside the frame, but it's just like sometimes you just don't need to worry about it. And then there you go. So there we have our like little well, we can actually, let's change the colors of these real quick. To like, you know, to like whatever. There we go. See? So now it's just like, you know, by. And then our UI corners, not really like, there we go. That's a little better. All right. And then there's that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, it looks like crap because we don't have a picture. My colors are off and they look like freaking garbage, but obviously it just comes down to like polishing and making little minor adjustments along the way. Now, I really don't like this gradient right here, so I'm just gonna change out the gradient because it's really awful. Um, the gradient just is super terrible, honestly. I mean, that's fine, like whatever. So yeah, and then you can just style it however you want. I mean, obviously, if we had pictures up here, it would look better. We're forgetting our text label up here, but it's the same process over and over. And then when creating more off of that, like when we want more in our scrolling frame to get more products, we're just gonna copy and paste and then just change accordingly. And it's just customizing it however you want to customize it. Okay. But let's see how it looks on mobile. If it looks like garbage, holy crap. See, it actually doesn't look that bad on mobile. See, it looks pretty decent. It's like whatever. But yeah, again, it's like customizing it however you want to customize it, you know, if it makes sense and it looks good. And then obviously you can like copy whatever else is out there. I just did this from complete scratch and complete, you know, just like me just creating it out of nowhere. Okay. But yeah, that's it. Peace out.